clicking there. All right, we're going through this. So this is the second time we actually took two takes for once, which is rare for us.
Got to be perfect for our perfect viewers.
Yeah, we really do. For the one person that hops in on the live stream, you rock. Thank you for all your help.
You rock.
That might be my window that's still open.
Every
No, but we're
view
gonna get
counts.
more people. We're gonna schedule it. We do decent on the podcast side too. It's just it's more I need to actually get us doing the fucking the live streams with any notice, because I just post the live stream at like 6:02. I'm like, hey, we're live already there. Too late. You gotta hop on. Alrighty, and let me get a tweet out. Me and Scott. Oh, I will be tagging because of the social media. It's a little peek behind the curtain for our viewers. This is what tweeting looks like. It's great. Really, really super fun.
It's all right. We have cute kittens distracting in the back.
Oh, hell
Just
yeah.
one.
That's... How old's the little guy? You can't see him on the film.
She moved off the couch. She's 7 months now. Something like that.
Oh, dude, that's a youngin'.
Oh, yeah. But she's big. She's chunky.
She's a big girl.
Yeah.
My cat is too. I feel it. Okay. Yeah, totally had the logo ready to go. That's why this tweet is taking so long. Just being very thoughtful about saying that me and Chonks are live on the mic. Found the logo. Hell yeah. I'm gonna like it this time. You see on here, next time there's no excuse for it taking me this long. Alright. And posts are shared. So, nope. Actually, I'm not connected to Wi-Fi, so it's taking a second. I'll remedy this. How's your week going, Scott? We can have this.
Things
for
are going
days.
well. Went on a one-night day trip to St. Louis, and it rained a little bit here. It's fall. Got to throw some leaves around before the rain came in, so I'm happy.
Heck yeah, very fun. What time is nighttime out in the Great West?
5 o'clock, the sun will be down at this point.
Dude, same here. I hate the beginning of this where it's like, cool, it's 4:30 and it's getting dark. Awesome.
Oh yeah, that's definitely happening here. So gonna be hard to get outside today with sitting in here working all day.
Yeah.
I don't know what
here.
she's seeing outside, but she's like shaking her mouth in such a weird way. I don't know who she's talking to.
All right. Are you ready to get after it? Okay.
Let's get after it.
Recording for 4 minutes. Oh yeah, we're going. And the intro music is live. So, always love the intro music. I'm really debating whether I want to put less highlights on the cube or more highlights on the cube. I go back and forth. Like, early in the video, I'm like, damn, this is a little long. And then at the end, it's like, oh, cool, Cam Ward highlight? That's fun.
I mean, you're really digging deep there to find one of those at this point.
Yeah. No fault of his own. We still love Cam. But, yeah, it is good to be here. Me and Scott are talking gambling and DFS, mostly gambling at this point. And We are talking week 10 tonight. We had some good calls last week. We've been having a good time out here. I am Addi, the Duck League champ. You can find me on the TikToks, the Instagrams, and the Twitters, I think. But where can we find you, Scott?
Yeah, it's me, Chonks, your Chow Chow champion, and you can find me on X at S Maltese or here on the pod every Thursday, talking NFL bets.
Yeah, we're gonna actually show up on time every Thursday from this point forward. We are here for our viewers. Yeah, I'm gonna send the message out before 6:03, but we will see if that actually happens because we are talking bets tonight. And let's start with the bad. We always go through the bad first on this show, which I actually love because it reminds me the calls I made incorrectly and gives me like a chance to reflect on it. But you got the first one.
All right, well, Zay Flowers did not need to get it done the other day. He had that one long catch late in the second quarter, but Miami just rolled over, and that game was pathetic. It was all about being on the unders in that game unless you had Mark Andrews, couple TDs, or Isaiah Likely, which we did have, so one of the goods.
Oh, yeah. And I will take full ownership for the rest of these because I am the resident J.J. McCarthy fan, and he wins games. He has been winning games. He looked okay in that one, but he certainly did not get 218 passing yards. Justin Jefferson did not hit over 74.5. Had a great game. Looked good. I saw good chemistry, but yardage might not be JJM's thing.
They just didn't need it. They got up early and often, and they didn't need to throw the ball, and they were content not taking the ball out of the hands of their rookie in a game where he threw 3 touchdowns and less than 200 passing yards. So I think the jury's still out. He did what he needed to, and he's 2-1 as a starter. Despite if you read on Twitter, you'd probably think he was like 0-10.
Well, yeah, because he didn't get as many fantasy points as he could from passing the ball, so he's bad at football. But yeah, he's looked okay in a couple games. I think he's a formidable threat, which is terrifying. I was advocating for the worthy over. We both kind of felt okay about that one, but
man, it's tough out there.
Yeah.
What's going on? I mean, they didn't perform as a whole either, Kansas City offense, but Worthy has looked atrocious. Would he have 1 catch this week for 12? He's barely gotten over this mid-40s line, so I can't wait to fire it back up as soon as he gets out of the bye next week. I'm sure we'll find some reason to bet him under like 39.5, over 39.5 or something.
I'm sure we will. It's been a safer bet to take Tyquan Thornton this year, which is crazy to say out loud. Like that would not have been on my bingo card. James Cook under 76.5. That one I felt pretty strongly about, and James Cook is great at running back.
I warned you. It was like watching JSN a couple weeks before. I had a 3-way parlay with my wife, and that was the James Cook under is what crushed us. So all good. Back to it.
Yeah, and we had one last one here. SF -2, and we expected that under in the New York Giants game. That was about the highest scoring game in the universe, but that's why I'm excited for Chicago, New York this week.
McCaffrey plunges in that touchdown instead of them kicking the field goal, which then led to another Giants touchdown after that. So it's a one-player coin flip. But the New York Giants defenses looked terrible and got rolled over again last week. So I'm sure we'll be talking about them today.
Yeah, we certainly will be. And for the podcast viewers out there, my cat's tail made an appearance on the YouTube. So definitely check out our streams here at 2 Guys 1 Pod FF. But we are into the good, and we have a lot of it this week. We have resident tight end whisperer Scott on the mic here talking about Isaiah Likely.
That was an easy one. I think he had almost 60 receiving yards last week, so crushed the 22.5. Looking to go back to that well this week. He's getting a lot healthier. Lamar Jackson's back. We saw Mark Andrews have the 2 TD catches last week, but he is taking a few less snaps than Likely is right now, and this line at 22.5 seems quite low.
Yeah, I would totally agree there. And aside from that, we also got Achane over 100, which awesome. He is.
It hit in the
game.
first, and then the second half came and it completely stopped. So that was wild. I think he ended up with like 6 yards in the second half after having 101 in the first. So glad got that one early because that would have been sweaty late.
Yeah, Ollie Gordon looked pretty good in that game too. I was a pretty big fan of what I saw there. I was always surprised at the Ollie Gordon like low tier analysis because he did have a bad season, but like he was literally the Dokes Walker winner the year before. He was the best running back in the country. Like the guy has that gear.
Yeah. Yeah, and we've seen it a couple times. That was a play that really changed the game last week was when he threw that block and they called it a trip and it brought the long pass to, I believe, Jalen Waddle back, and that really transformed that game. There's a couple moments like that, but he has been running well. That team is terrible and they're in shambles at this point. They fired the GM finally, and it sounds like they're going to stick with McDaniel through the rest of the year, but I'm sure we'll see a whole new face next year and a whole new offense. So what do you think of Achan's value next year? Does it go down because the offense changes, or is he just too legit to quit?
I mean, he's really fast, and that's kind of like the whole thing for me in football analysis. Like, he's fast, he's quick, he breaks tackles. Like, there isn't a metric I don't like about him, so of course I'm going to like him forever. Kenneth Walker is the same way. I could see them having similar careers where their ceiling is when the offense works for them, and their floor is when it starts falling apart or when the coaching staff loses confidence in them for any reason. So Devon Achane, I think, is going to follow a similar arc, and I know they look like different players, but when you have that play style and you have that proclivity to get injured at high workloads, I think it's likely to happen. But we could talk Achane all day here. I'll go quick on this one. I thought the Vikings were going to beat that plus 9.5. Still feel good about that one. Lions get a little bit too much love in these close ones, but Scott, you had like 4 in a row here, so hit it up.
All right, well, JMO got there late. He had that big catch in the fourth, I believe, to hit his over and score a touchdown. So it was good to see JMO. I don't love him this week, but we'll be back firing him up in a couple weeks when they end up back in the dome. Goff over 240.5. This one was pretty easy. And then one of my calls of the week, I'd say, was the Brock Bowers liftoff game. I talked about it on here a little bit. The line was sitting at 50.5. I think it went off around 56, 57.5, which was still just ended up being way too low. TD was plus 170, I believe. Smashed that on Sunday morning. Hit a bunch of ladders with him. So that was really fun to watch Brock Bowers go off. Not sure I'm chasing this week, but we can talk about it a little bit more when we get to the first game.
Oh yeah, and I'm just gonna follow up on this one. I had Kelsey and Kincaid here too, and it is really starting to feel like we are the tight end whisperer show. We got Chev frequently on here too, and he is the Aronde Gadsden guy. He just ordered one of those. He won the LC competition this week for best ranks. Got that Aronde Gadsden's jersey already going to his place, but we have been making these calls left and right. Like, between Bowers, Loveland, Kelsey, Kincaid, we have been on the overs directly when they happen. So that's cool, man. I love being the tight end channel. Like, there are so many jokes. We have so much opportunity. Like, I don't even want to use them now because we have 6 more weeks to be the tightest of ends in this channel.
All right, let's go for it. Gotta make sure I have one queued up for this week, though. I don't know. Let me make sure.
I got
but it's easy to get tight end lines as the week goes long. They're not often moving up as quick, so maybe I'll come up with one between now and the end of the show.
Yeah, I got 1 or 2 on here too. We'll get into the tight ends for sure, and we are into the news and notes because we got some news. Jaden Daniels' arm went the wrong way. He won't be playing for a little bit. Ricky Pearsall's still out, man. Seriously?
Ricky Pearsall not practicing again. I mean, this guy should have gone on IR, and we haven't seen even one step closer to the field yet. We've been hearing more about Ayuk recently than we heard about Pearsall. So, latest on Ayuk, it sounds like he's getting close. Not going to practice this week, but I'd expect to see him around week maybe 13, 14. I don't know. I think the Niners can make the playoffs this year. I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl. So we'll see what kind of speed they rush him up to. But no one's run away with a job. So for everyone who's concerned that Ayuk would come back and would have no home, nowhere to dominate, seems like there's still plenty of room to dominate in San Francisco.
Yeah. Ayuk is going to be a valuable fantasy football player at some point in the next 12 months. I don't know if it'll be this year, but they haven't rushed him back, and I would love to see him be he kind of reminds me of like DJ Moore in the way that he plays, just being able to do stuff after the catch. He has that acrobatic ability. He's not necessarily the biggest player, but he's not small. Like, I would love to see him have a good end to this year. I see you put Kyler in the out column. That's worth talking about. The new COD release is coming out in 7 days, and Kyler Murray is on IR.
Yeah, well, he needed at least 3 weeks of full attention on the new game before he has to even concern himself with football. So interesting. Last week, you're hearing that he might even have a couple of packages on Monday Night Football. Ends up being ruled out, and now he's out for at least 4 weeks with a foot sprain. Sounds like there's kind of no timetable on that. So it's been the year of the foot. It started with Mixon in the offseason. Joe Burrow hurt his turf toe in week 2. Brock Purdy had turf toe in week 1. It's definitely the year of the foot this year.
Well, getting freaky with it there, Scott. Let's move it on to BTJ. He is likely still out. This one's just sad. Rough fantasy pick this year.
Oh, man, he's definitely been the biggest bust of the first round, BTJ. So they're going to be competing for a playoff spot down the stretch. I believe they take on the Colts and Indy. I think they'll be done. They play Houston this week. This might be their second game against Houston. But they have a couple good matchups down the stretch. So you're hoping to get BTJ and Hunter back for the playoffs.
Yeah, that's rough. But Jacoby Myers is there. Stevenson is also looking out. That as a Hendo fan and thinking he looked fine last week. Jennings got a lot of carries. He got a lot of carries.
25% of the carries. It felt like a lot, especially because he got the TD drive and he got the one at the end to close it out when I really needed to get those yards back that Hendo lost on his negative 7-yard pitch. But yeah, as a Hendo show, we are stoked about Ramondre just resting up for another week.
Yeah. Speaking of running backs resting up for another week, I miss watching Bucky Irving too.
Man, his value, you'd think, falls between this year and next, though he might come back and be strong at the end of the year and everyone will forget, but we'll love to scoop him up next year. How long has he been out for now? 6 weeks?
A long time. Dude,
also another player not on IR.
Yeah, it's making the quick IR move make a lot of sense. Especially, you look at a guy like Trey Benson. We didn't even see the injury, and he is definitely going to need all the time that he had on IR. It was smart to put him there at that point.
Yeah, Hunter went on IR immediately, and we're a quarter of the way there already. He got hurt, 2 days before the first game, went on IR immediately. Sounds like he'll be good to go in for. So glad to see it. Wish we got more updates while they were on IR. We're not getting anything these days.
No, we are not. The NFL is keeping it close to the vest because they get fined too. We got Puka in this week. That's just really fun. DeAndre Swift's in too. Saw that one this morning. Barkley. Is Barkley a surprise at all?
I don't know. There were people picking up Tank Bigsby hoping that Barkley's groin was a little bit more pulled than he led on to. But sure enough, he's out practicing in full today, so good to go.
Yeah. A.J. Brown is looking like he's going to play, and Garrett Wilson, too. Forgot to write this one, but Garrett Wilson is trending towards playing. Trey Benson, we already mentioned here. And you have Brock Purdy. I'm not sure about that. I see that. I don't
know. He's still limited. They want him to play. It's a divisional game. This is really important for winning the division. Purdy is a better quarterback than Mac Jones. But we'll see. I think it's all about how it feels, and they don't want him to re-injure it more again like he did last time he played. So we'll see.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think Mac Jones is getting a lot of money after this season from some.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who, but I mean, he's gone to 2 stops and looked as good as the starter. Like, he looked as good as Trevor Lawrence. Like, and I think he will continue to. Like, if they're willing to pay a guy like that, like, Mac's a first-round pick.
Looks better than Bryce Young, and I'm sure he looks better than Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, that's low bar there. But
no bar there.
Going into the Thursday night preview. We got the Las Vegas Raiders at the Denver Broncos, and this is going to be a stinker, man.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a good, like, take your wife out on a date night kind of night, I think. We only had one line here. I got Sutton over 58.5. I feel like the vibes have been pretty bad on Sutton. People are talking a lot about Troy Franklin taking over the role. But at the end of the day, the Raiders have been much more susceptible to the outside receiver. Sutton's line at 58.5 is quite low. With all the negative buzz, I thought that his recent game metrics have been terrible. He had 1 catch for 30 last week and a touchdown on 6 targets, but he's been receiving this line or more consistently throughout most of the season. Bad defense, you look for them to get this early. I like Sutton tonight. But come on, I need another 2 legs. What are we going to throw together for tonight's 3-leg parlay?
You know what? Give me the Dobbins line. Because I do feel like there is something you can exploit in this game, and it's the fact that Denver runs the ball when they're up. Like, that is the way they try and win games. Sean Payton's always done it that way. He did it with Drew Brees as well. You would have games that he was definitely running it out. And J.K. Dobbins at 70, like, it's a high line. But they give him 15 touches, and the Raiders allow a lot of movement on the ground. We saw that from the Bears a couple weeks back, too. Give me that one. Or, if you want to make it really fun, R.J. Harvey, anytime touchdowns, pretty great odds.
Oh, man.
20 rush yards.
He's been crushing that, man. I do like his rush yards. I'm seeing 22.5 right now. And my buddy Dan, the Raider fan, he was throwing out Trey Tucker over 44.5 receiving yards tonight.
I guess. Cool. Like, maybe. I want to agree with that.
Would you rather do that or Brock Bowers' 6.5 catches?
I almost would rather take Bowers just because I believe in Bowers so much. Like, we saw him coming out and immediately show again that he might be the best tight end in the NFL. So let's just believe that that's the case. Like, I've seen enough to be on it.
Okay, 7 catches. That's a lot of catches, but he is pretty important to the offense.
Yeah, I mean, I think he is, and I also feel like the team as a whole just is going to be more concentrated with Jacoby Myers out of there. Like, they don't really have a lot of other options, so they have to run their offense like this, and I think Pete Carroll can, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be fun to watch. Like, I think they're going to just have to throw the ball to him a bunch because not every team is as susceptible as the Jaguars, and the Broncos certainly aren't. You got anything else on this one?
I don't know. I'm just kind of looking at some of these rookies and thinking that if this is a blowout, do they get some? So Pat Bryant, he's been seeing more targets as of late. He's looks like his last couple games, he's had 20 receiving yards, 40 receiving yards, 6 and 22. His line tonight is 19.5, so right on there. And then I don't know. Thornton is back tonight. They made a point of saying that he was going to play this week. His line is 3.5, or you could do over 9.5 at 1.15. So I don't know, just random stuff to play with. Probably like the $5 bets. It's one of those nights.
Yeah, it's a $5 bet night. I placed a $10 one, and I already feel bad about it. That's what I was doing on my phone there. I decided to take most of the ones that we were talking about and just toss them in one 4-leg parlay, and it already feels gross. I feel like the game's not going to be high enough scoring. But let's move it to a game that will be high scoring, because we have the New York Giants at the Chicago Bears. The Giants that just gave up 30 to the Niners. the Giants that have not lived up on defense, and we got an over-under of 46.5. I'm going to be going for a minute on this one, Scott. Give me the overs. Give me Caleb over. Over passing, over rushing. Loveland over 37.5. Run it right back on this channel. Wandale over 50. I love that one too. I know you put that one on there. And you know what? Let's just go to a fun stat. I know it's a bit of a cherry-picked one, but how many teams have over 21 points in every game? I would ask you, but you can see the show sheet. The Bears. End of list. Next question.
Yeah, man, they've been cooking on offense. So you didn't mention Rome. He's within our Rome rule. He really disappointed last week, but he also had that really challenging matchup against the only good element of the Bengals defense facing off against DJ Turner. So at 54.5, kind of got to hit that Rome rule this week. And to continue the theme of overs, I love the running backs. I think both of their lines are pretty low because of the concern of how much each of them might play, and I don't think it matters. I think both of them will exceed their rushing yards. You have Monangai over 41.5 and Swift over 54.5. There's no reason that both of these guys cannot gash the New York Giants, whose rush defense is really where their weak spot is, ranking bottom 3 in the league. So I like Monangai and Swift the most, and then Wandale. So those would be my 3 for this game, with a little bit of Rome rule just because of my obsession.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm on the exact same page, and also it's a squeaky wheel gets the grease situation. Like, Rome has been a competent and quiet and professional player. The fact that he's getting media attention from his dad reaching out about the Bears needing to use him more, it's not the best thing in the world, but when he's like your best receiver, which he is, I think, like DJ Moore's great, but it's close. I think you gotta get him the ball a little bit more. They are right about that, but it was a win last week. I'm glad we haven't heard Rome saying that same stuff.
Yeah, he seems very soft-spoken. Really never seen him get elevated, but I love it. One of my favorite players. So is Caleb really 16.5 rushing? Crazy. Had to go find that and smash that immediately. He's been shredding people on the ground. I don't care what the matchup says. Caleb's going to scramble a few times, and that game's going to be back and forth. Yeah, you like the over. I mean, I don't get it. How is this game 2 points lower than the Niners? Because it's in Chicago instead of New York? I don't know. I'm
cold.
Confused.
Yeah, it's going to be cold this weekend, and I think Caleb will be okay. And I think the Giants will be okay because they're the New York Giants and they play in the cold too. So I feel comfortable with this one. I think it's
not gonna lie though. I almost like the New York Giants upset this week.
Don't say that. I mean, I almost like the upset against every team against the Bears because we give up so many yards on defense. So anyone could win, but they're showing they can win on offense. That's all we wanted from Ben Johnson. The defense has collapsed. At the same time, we have a competent offense. It's fitting. We can only do one or the other. But, I think that it will be a closer game than I want it to be. And after the Bears game last week, man, like, I've been really positive about it, but, like, I have been more stressed. I think I'm going to stay more stressed as a Bears fan.
I mean, their record is better than they've been playing, but they got a leg up in the division last week. Only them and Minnesota getting the victories with Green Bay. And the Lions going down. So the division's wide open. They got plenty of opportunities to go out there and get some big games. But, man, that defense is not good.
It's stinky.
Not any good.
Tyree Stevenson is playing for 31 teams in the NFL, and none of them are the Bears. So next up, we got New England at Tampa Bay. It is plus 2.5 for Tampa Bay. I feel like I didn't write that line down. I'm going to make sure that that's actually the line. I feel like, is that actually plus 2.5?
I think it's Tampa Bay minus 2.5.
I thought it was minus 2.5.
Yeah, Tampa Bay minus 2.5.
Cool, awesome. 48.5 over under. As you can see, I made the show sheet very late in the day, very close to the time of this podcast. Some of the time during the podcast. But I love the Drake May over on 1.5. I love the Baker over 1.5. And Rashad White at 44.5. I feel like we have a bunch of lines in this one that do not equate to it being a high-scoring game, and we have two quarterbacks that everyone has high in their ranks.
Yeah, what I think is the weak spot in this game are both teams' pass defenses, specifically New England's, which is ranking bottom third right now. So who am I targeting this week? I kind of like Tez Johnson, staying away from Christian Gonzalez. He did come out okay after banging his head last week. I do think he'll spend more time on Mbuka, so I kind of like Tez Johnson over 45.5.
I'm a big fan of that one. I think you could take a lot of guys in this game. I think it's going to be higher scoring as well. But we'll move it straight on to the next one. I don't have a ton of conviction aside from thinking that game will be a lot of fun to watch and will be a lot of passing. How are you feeling about Baltimore at -4 at Minnesota?
Yeah, so my gym coach every week asks me what's the line? What's the line I'm going with this week? And usually he asks me on Saturday, but this week I came in on Wednesday and I was like, the line of the week is Baltimore -4 versus Minnesota. They got a dominant win in a divisional game on the road last week. Pretty important moment from the rookie. But right now, Baltimore is just getting heated up. They took care of business last week, let Lamar get back to game speed a little bit with their domination against Miami. They get the short bye, long bye, whatever we call it here, between the Thursday night game and Sunday, and I think they come out here and demolish Minnesota. Minnesota is probably a middle-of-the-league team. Baltimore is on the path. Doesn't feel like they're on the path to the playoffs with their current record, but they've won 2 in a row now. And I think everything we are expecting with Baltimore having an easy schedule down the stretch, they're still set up to win the division. So I love Baltimore -4 this week against Minnesota.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I think your next line on here might be my favorite one of the week. I was sad you got to it before me, but Lamar over 37.5. Excellent line. Like, we aren't getting those odds again. This is the one week you get to make that bet. Make it. Yeah,
usually his rushing line's somewhere around 50, and because of the extended break from the injury and he didn't run last week, I'm assuming that's why this line is so low, hanging out at 37.5. So it was something that kind of popped in my head, chased it down, and when I saw it was 37.5, made the bet instantly. So there's a couple bets a week. I usually like to go 1.5 units instead of 1. This will be probably one of those, though we'll have another one coming up.
Yeah. Isaiah Lakely here over 22.5 I like as well. And you have Zay Flowers with a touchdown. I mean, what's there not to like in this game?
Zay's due, man. I think Zay has had a lot of opportunities this year. It hasn't necessarily converted into being a top fantasy receiver, but this team's percolating.
3 years. Zay has been due for 3 years. I agree with you, but I was the Zay was due guy last year, and I can tell you are this year. Happy for you. It's not a great journey, and you feel uncomfortable every week because you're like, how the hell did he get taken down at the 1 again?
What was that, last year or 2 years ago? 2 years ago, I think, when Amon-Ra kept getting taken down at the 1-yard line over and over again.
Oh, yeah. He has not
He's
since
so good.
then.
Yeah.
He's so good. Well,
he's -167 this week for a touchdown.
We're going to break it into our ad right here. For the viewers, you're getting a nice League Champ one. For the podcasters, I don't know what you get. Watch the video. We made it through another live video, and we are back on the air ready to talk about the most exciting matchup in California with the Chonks, the Chow Chow champ from California. Oh, what a time to be alive. It is LA Rams at -3.5 at the San Francisco 49ers. Brought the energy to the back half of this show. Go ahead.
All right, well, I think payback's a bitch, and the Rams remember the game in LA from earlier in the season when the Niners came in with Kendrick Bourne as their wide receiver 1 and Demarcus Robinson as their wide receiver 2 and somehow stole that game. The Rams are the team that is bound for making a run in the playoffs right now. They were well on their way last year before failing late to Philly. So I like the Rams -3.5, taking care of business in San Francisco, who's still heavily banged up. I think their record is more a piece of their schedule than it is the quality of their team. I do think that there's a chance that they could sneak in as the second wild card, but it's going to be tough for them to win this division with both the Rams and Seattle in front of them. I think we see a good game from the Rams again this week.
Yeah, I think we do too. I like this line. When I saw you put this one down, I was pretty happy about it because I think it's going to be a fun game too. I think, if anything, they're going to lean on their team a little bit more than you'd expect because they've been taking it easy on Puka. Like, he's been banged up, but they have been trying to get him off the field and letting Davante Adams take the lead there. I came into this year thinking that Davante Adams was a better receiver than Puka Nacua at this point in their careers. I now think Puka Nacua might be better than Davante Adams was ever in his career because the guy has looked freaking insane. Like, my over 7.5 receptions, like, I am a big fan of taking the unders on that sort of bet, and I would never. Puka Nacua might get 20 receptions. There's no way to know, but if he is healthy on the field, he will get over 7.
Oh, yeah. So his line this week is 7.5, and that is one of my favorite lines of the week as well. So Puka Nacua has been dominant in his time out there this season. This is one of the most fun bets to root for because you can constantly just point to the screen and be like, catch. We know that they want to win this game, and every time I turn around, as long as it's not from the 1-yard line, Puka is the one on the other end of this reception. So excited to see him in full force in a really important game this week. I think that we see him with 8 or more catches.
Yeah, I think you're probably on the nose there. Next one, or actually, you got one more on here. To talk about Blake Corum and why you want people to waste their money on him.
All right, well, I'm a Corum slappy, so take this with an asterisk. But Corum and Kyron were switching off series last week, 1-1-1-1. We saw it in the first half and in the second half. If it comes down to the end of the game, I do expect that we'll see Kyron for a couple of drives in a row. But if the Rams take care of business like I expect them to do, there's a chance that we even see Corum running out the game. So his line is 28.5 right now. I think he's going to have at least 8 to 10 carries. So you're asking him to average 3 yards a carry, something that he's done every game this year except for week 4 against Indy.
Yeah, I have actually loved what I've seen from Blake Corum, even though it hasn't really resulted in, like, fantasy goodness, and it hasn't always been the prettiest, but at a minimum, it has really looked like he is going to be a pretty massive part of their offense long term. The thing that always, like, hits me hard about Blake Corum is I really loved his film in college, but I try and, like, live by the models that I write because, like, that's kind of the way that I tend to play fantasy football. I like to have analytics as a part of it. And Blake Corum in our comp model comps to Jordan James, Javonte Williams, which could be good. I mean, Javonte Williams as a prospect, Miles Sanders, Dameon Pierce, Jarquez Hunter, and DeAndre Swift. I know those aren't bad, but that, like, if your furthest comp on ours is DeAndre Swift and your first one's Jordan James, it's not a fun prospect profile.
No, that was not a great list. So we haven't really seen him put anything real together yet. But it was good to see last week on 13 carries, he ran for 58 yards, so 4.46 a carry. It just, the guy in front of him is Kyron all that special? Or is he turning into the next dead zone running back? I mean, circle him for next year's draft as that dead zone running back to avoid.
Okay, so just want to throw it out there because this is fun. Like, I haven't broken out the comps database for one of these calls before, so I like to see your response to it. Comps for Kyron Williams, Bucky Irving, which is an awesome comp because they're both slow. Kareem Hunt, because they're both slow, good at breaking tackles. Jordan James, Dameon Pierce, and Jerome Ford. It's like
you said like Jacquez Hunter for
Corum.
So all three of them are connected. All three of them are the same
player. Yeah, John McVay has the type. But see, we saw this from the 49ers a couple of years back with like the Raheem Mostert, Isaac Rendo. Like, when you have those Shanahan offenses with a certain type of zone running back that can actually get behind their blockers, it works out. I trust the coaching that Blake Corum can be competent in their system because I didn't think that, like, a Bucky Irving would be competent in his system. I didn't think that Kyron Williams would be either. So, like, I like the bet because if you told me to evaluate Cam Akers versus Kyron Williams a year and a half, 2 years ago, I would have told you Cam Akers was the better prospect 10 out of 10 times.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. He's getting it done again this year. The RB12 overall. He's had one ceiling game against San Francisco when he caught 8 balls. And outside of that, he's just been a low-end RB1 plodding his way through. So if you like that experience, have fun. That's just not slappy enough for me. So I tend to pass when Kyron Williams comes up on the board.
I'm kind of sad David Montgomery didn't end up in that same phylum because he kind of feels that way sometimes too. Not in the Lions, but before that on the Bears. So we only have a little bit of time before Thursday Night Football. So I encourage you to tell me why we are talking about Houston or Jacksonville at Houston at -1.5. This is my honorary skip of the week.
The honorary skip of the week game. I like that. So I don't know. Just Jacksonville sucks. They stole another win last week against the Raiders. They're on the road again. This line is deflated because Davis Mills is starting, but I don't really give a shit. Jacksonville is garbage. And Nico's line, I saw it at 57.5 yesterday. I see it at 60.5 today. Nico's going to catch plenty of balls against this mediocre secondary. And I guess you can hear 2.5 years of being a pseudo silent Jacksonville fan just because I wanted Trevor Lawrence to be good. And now I'm just blowing it all up. And I'm just voting against them every single week, and I'm doing it with my dollars this week. Let's take Houston -1.5.
You know, I was fully expecting this to be because of the reason that you gave like last week to talk about Houston, where you were like, maybe Vegas knows something we don't, because I would have Denver like -5, and Denver only finished -3. Like, Houston almost won that game too. I thought that
without Stroud.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I absolutely love the slander against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Love to see you get riled up. You're such a measured better and fantasy guy. You're like, oh, get your exposures in best ball. Like, here's the strategic way to play it. Like, you'll make it work if you treat it like a portfolio. And I love that you're finally getting a bet in there where you're like, oh no, this one's from the heart. Screw you, Trevor Lawrence. So many people agree with you. You're making the community feel heard here. We got Pittsburgh at the LA Chargers here. Who are you liking from this one? This is an interesting game.
Yeah, the Chargers have been so inconsistent this year, and now they've lost Joe Alt for the remainder of the season. So they're without both of their tackles, and the last time we saw this happen where the Chargers didn't have both of their tackles, Justin Herbert was a permanent part of the turf. And I expect that again this weekend. Pittsburgh's defense looking a little bit better here and there. I don't think that they are an excellent team. I think they're a good or okay team, but at this point, I don't think the Chargers are very good. I think Herbert's going to see a ton of pressure. The defense has been bad, and it's been kind of flip-flop. So to get the 2.5 points with Pittsburgh, I'm interested in that, or even consider the money line.
Yeah, I don't hate that. We have seen that from Pittsburgh before. I was gonna say the Vidal under kind of calls to me this week. We've seen Patterson getting some work, and that's not to say that Patterson's better. I think Vidal is actually still decent, but like Pittsburgh was kind of rough for Jonathan Taylor last week. Maybe Pittsburgh's going to turn it on at the end of this year. We'll see. I don't really know if they will, but if they do, that's cosmic justice that we all have to watch Aaron Rodgers in the year of 2025 playing American tackle football in a yellow and black uniform, potentially in the playoffs.
I was telling Austin, I'm so tired of these old guys right now. It's completely ruining dynasty super flexes because people with all these young assets are getting like nobody wants them because these old guys are just stepping in and carving up the fantasy streets, even though they're god awful garbage. So yeah, I guess now all the frustration is coming out.
Can't trade a quarterback. I'm just sitting here with Aaron Rodgers and Daniel Jones on a rebuilder being like, cool, nobody wants these guys. Really.
No, I mean, hey, I finally got a quarterback deal done last week, but it took giving up Jackson Dart, which, is a pretty aggressive move, giving up what looks to be a pretty great asset. But I have 5 quarterbacks on my team. He was number 3 in my pecking order behind Patrick Mahomes and Drake May, and I was very happy to get Travion Henderson, another key piece in my now RB 3-4 with Rico heading on a little playoff run. So sometimes you got to get it done to win a ship. I drafted him in the late second because for whatever reason our league let him slide, and now I've traded him for a middle of the first pick, and I think jury's still out on Henderson. So happy to have the asset.
Yeah. Fun note on Jackson Dart. I was talking about this today because this is actually why I started looking at our comp database today. Jackson Dart's comps I think are really fun. So I like setting up like a database of active comps and then also guys from the past. His are going to be the active ones because I think they're pretty on point. J.J. McCarthy, Justin Fields, Jalen Hurts, Malik Willis. I absolutely love all of those because that's how he plays. But those guys have had above average, if not great, fantasy football seasons. All of them have. Malik Willis.
He will be good for. He will be really good for fantasy. And I do think he was a great asset to give up.
Yeah.
But hey, I got him everywhere else, so I'll be rooting for him all this year. It was this summer. I was sending you my exposure. I think it was from the pre-draft best ball, and I sent you my exposure, and you're like, Jackson Dart sucks.
I still.
And sure enough. And sure enough, those pre-draft best ball teams are some of my best ball teams right now. So, yeah, Jackson Dart.
This is Chase Brown from a year or two ago. Because I'm a metrics profile guy, I didn't see it with Jackson Dart. I didn't get the Ole Miss offense, but really he was the one running it. It has looked good so far. The legs are real, and that was the part I was most skeptical about. I started watching film and I didn't think he looked fast, but you know what? The charts know better. He's a good quarterback. We'll see how it goes. Let's move it on here. We got Philly at Green Bay over 44.5. I'm lukewarm on this one. You feeling that over?
Yeah, both of these defenses have been very mediocre, moderate so far this year. Both of them ranking, I believe, 17 overall for Green Bay and 19 overall for Philadelphia. And both teams have plenty of assets on offense to score. This is a pretty low total, 44.5. We've seen a lot of numbers up in the 48s, 49s. I don't know. I don't know who's going to win this game. It seems to be a lot of people on the Philly side, but we're probably overweighting Green Bay's loss last week. They are playing down to the competition each and every week, and each and every game is coming down to the very end of it. So I was noticing in the weekly pick'em that more people were on Philly than Green Bay. Seems like an easy opportunity to take the other side and get a small advantage over the field.
Yeah, let's go Philadelphia Eagles. Smack the Packers. We are all rooting for you. We're hearing the same thing there, Scott. Well, you got first prop here. I actually really like this one, too. I had forgotten about the guy, Jalen Coker.
Yeah, Cokeheads unite. He's back. He's been back for a couple of weeks now, and we really haven't seen much. But there was some Coke speak, one might say, trying to get him more involved. Try and get him more involved in this week's game. At 25.5 yards, let's take the Jalen Coker over.
Oh my goodness. All right. That one hilarious. But yeah, I'm with you. I agree with this bet. I think that all the Panthers lines are underwhelming because the Packers absolutely shut down the offense aside from the running game last week. And I think that the passing game actually will show some life here one of these times. And hey, Rico Dowdle's also looking a little banged up, so we'll see. I got the next one here. The one, the only reactionary line. I love a good reactionary line. I love when it gets bet up way too high. Pop Douglas has a couple good games in a row. First time this year. We're getting 45.5 for Pop Douglas in a game with all their players healthy. No, I'll take the under there.
Well, I think they are going to be without Booty, but they do occupy different parts of the field. So I'm actually excited for the rookie, Kyle Williams, getting a shot this week. But you're right. This is a reactionary line. He had his second good game of the year. Haven't seen a ton of Douglas this year. So love the under. I've been punished by I think every single under I've bet this year, other than I think I finally won one last week with the Genty under rushing. So it's like when you pull out the safety club in golf and then you still smack it into the woods and you're like, come on, I brought out the club that was supposed to put me in good shape. That is what's been up with the unders. Like I lose one, I'm like, I did this because it's supposed to be this way. You're supposed to take both sides of the coin, but it fucking sucks to get crushed on an under.
Yeah, especially when it happens early and you're watching the game and you're just like, come on. They have 55 yards in the first half. Like, awesome. I'll just stop watching this game. But, the bet you probably should listen to, and it is minute 51 of the show. If you made it this long, this is the bet of the week for our tight end whisperers. This is the one I'm calling. This one is an Addi pick. Zach Ertz over 34.5. Marcus Mariota got in this line twice already this year. They are going to get smacked this week. Zach Ertz is going to get the ball.
Yeah, it's about the only name we know left. You got Debo, Ertz, and then Lane. I really would have liked McCaffrey's line. He's been awesome with Mariota, but his line will be 0 this week as he's out for the year with a collarbone. I definitely think he will make an interesting round 18 best ball pick next year. So make a small note, especially on your Jaden Daniels teams.
Yeah, he's been fun this year. It depends. Lane could really take that job in the last half of the year.
Yeah, we haven't seen any evidence of that at all yet.
No, we haven't at all. But I liked his prospect film. Okay, I liked it more than McCaffrey's. I didn't like McCaffrey's when he came out, but he's looked great in the pros. We have two last ones here. They're both you. Hit them.
All right, well, let's just touch on that international game on Sunday. I forgot where it is. Berlin. Let's hit on that Berlin game real quick. I like two sides of the ball. Looks like it's the same narrative, which is the Colts taking care of business, which they have done each and every game so far this year. I personally do not believe that they're a Super Bowl contender. I think their schedule has been awful, and there's nobody of any real competition that they face. So 7-2, I think it's still good enough to take care of business against the Falcons. But I like Penix over 232.5 passing yards. The Colts have been one of the weakest defenses against quarterbacks and pass catchers in general, and they started the year strong on defense, but they really haven't shown a ton the last few weeks. So I really like Penix. He looked good last week. And I noticed that the Colts are bottom 2, so second to worst against tight ends. So unfortunately, I believe it's a Kyle Pitts week. So I will be checking out his line as well to pair with the Penix passing over. And then on the other side of the ball, I had a super fade on Jonathan Taylor heading into the year. I think it was more of a mental block than it was actually a fade on Jonathan Taylor. But because of that, I now am forced to be taking Jonathan Taylor high upside lines, like over 93.5 rushing yards. Atlanta has been a run funnel, and if I'm going to get beat on all the other streets, I might as well take home some cash when Jonathan Taylor inevitably runs for over 93.5 yards.
I love that one. And Jonathan Taylor will probably not this week, just out of spite. But We will see. I think he's looked incredible this year. But
he had a slow week last week.
He did. The whole Colts did. Danny Dimes. I did you see that close up of his face near the end of the game? He did the I've played for the New York Giants or Jets for too long face. We'll get that on the edits. But we have been two guys. This has been one pod, and we are a podcast. Check us out on the FFD radio. We are going to be here every 6 p.m. on Thursday, giving you the bets of the week. And be sure to check out the League Champ app on the app and Google Play Store. Where can we find you, Scott? You can find me at Duck League Champ. I sorry to cut you off. Now you go.
I'm Chonks, your Chow Champ, and you can find me on X at SMileTest. I'll be here every Thursday at 6 p.m. Central, 4 o'clock Pacific time, as the room around me gets darker. And just love being here, love doing this, and been on a little bit of a heater. This week I like some bets more than I like last week. I'm sure it'll leave us in a bad place. So let's go out there and have fun again.
Yeah, you know what they say. You put in the tight end forever. You don't take the tight end out.